Okay. Holy shit! Oh my god!
Hello, and welcome to episode 10 of Under the Volcano. Thanks for tuning in. This week we have news on the rising death count on Bali's Mount Everest, an unlucky robber deported back to Palestine, and how symbolism shapes the way we think about life. But first... how you doing, Ian? All right there?
Yeah, all good, all good.
I can hear a few dogs in the background.
Yeah, that's the neighbours.
Bit of local flavour.
That's right, yeah.
Hey, before we get started, we should do a word from our sponsor.
Yes, Island Brewing. That's a beautiful drop.
It is indeed, and we've run out again.
We have, so please send more beer.
Jesus, Ty, what's going on? You know, we're really desperate. We're having to drink all sorts of crap. You're on the fucking bottles of Bintang, which is so
I know.
dare.
Here's the thing. I went to the cash and carry, the local grocer, and these bottles are 30 bob a bottle.
Yeah. Well, that's
all right.
That's quite pricey, really, because they're 30 bob. 30 bob, you mean 30,000, do you? Like $2.
Yeah.
$2 US, or about a pound.
Pound 50.
Pound 50, yeah,
30
for a large bottle. It's not quite a pint. There's always been like this thing.
No. This, Nigel, this is a pint. This is 620 ml.
Okay, 620 ml. That's a pint,
That's
is it, in England these days?
No,
it's Brexit.
Fuck's sake. Yeah.
Anyway,
it's a lot of beer anyway.
Well,
it's cheap.
I'm drinking as usual, the Bali High. Romantic day lager. Thank you very much. It's not gay.
Old romantic.
It could be, but I just like the picture, and it's a good drop.
Yeah.
So,
no, it's nice.
But we do need desperately, Mr. Ty and the Island Brewing marketing department. We need a lot more love and beer. So otherwise, we're just going to have to switch to Bintang or something. Yeah.
I know.
We don't want to do it.
Which would be terrible.
Anyway, let's go to this.
Feedback.
So feedback this week. We've had some interesting feedback on our YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. It was actually brilliant to see our subscribers. Yeah, one thing I do want to mention is if you're watching us regularly, please subscribe, because that means it helps our kind of numbers, of course, and it just makes it easier for everybody. So hit that button, as they say. Subscribe, and we'll deliver to you weekly a show of fascinating epic nonsense, occasionally sparkled with some insights about life from this island and the other island of the world that we call the Earth. So
that's right,
please subscribe. Yeah. But anyway, from feedback this week, we've got our regular follower, Mr. Martin Smith. Thanks so much again, Martin. He says, lighten up, for fuck's sake. I'm going to listen to something funny instead. Well, I thought we were quite funny. He says, why is every expat in Bali generalising about everyone in the UK is a racist? And he said, my friends aren't racist.
No, he said, most of my friends aren't racist.
Some of them are, So
Exactly.
What percentage of people in England?
And by the way, we're not expats. We're fucking immigrants, all right?
Yeah, that's that, isn't it?
Yeah,
we are immigrants, and
immigrants,
we feel we have that. We're at the sharp end of racism sometimes. Not very kind of intense here in Bali because people are so lovely, but it is a thing. So I've got a daughter who's my wife is. I nearly said mother there. God,
Freudian slip.
My wife is Japanese, and therefore my daughter is lucky to have two passports, but she is of mixed race, So I wonder how she would get on in a place like the UK these days. I guess she'd be okay if she was in London and stuff. It's a multicultural place, but otherwise people are going to be like, where are you from? You don't look like from here and all that, So, I don't know. Anyway, I mean...
wrote up.
I think the whole sort of also our perspective of let's say England is severely through a prism of social media and things like Twitter. I mean, I'm on Twitter, or X as it's called now. So And that place, man, is a cesspool of anger and racism. So all I see, and it's probably not actually representative of what's going on in the UK, but what I see through this prism, I think, is that there are issues in England about immigrants.
That's fair comment. That's fair comment.
Seriously, I reckon. And we'll get onto that later when we just discuss the latest Nike Nike shirt / flag issue. We'll get onto that later with the discussion about symbolism. But anyway, Martin, thanks very much. We love your feedback, Marty. We prefer also Kimmy, who we don't know. Kimmy P Nut 7413 says simply brilliant.
And that's the sort of thing we like to hear.
We thank you for that, Kimmy. Let's look at what's going on here.
This week from the Sanor Weekly.
God bless it. May all who sail in her be profitable and sell lots of advertising and distribute and live in the world of weekly news by print. We love it. Look at that.
Keep us entertained.
Can you smell the print? There's that great quote by Johnny Depp, isn't there? Which I can't remember, but he does that. He did that movie by Hunter Thompson, I think, based in Cuba, and I can't remember the name of the. Was it called Rum Punch? Did you see that?
No.
And he's a journo, and he goes down to Cuba, I'm not sure, and discovers, of course, a massive level of corruption that's going on down there, and he works on the local newspaper. It's a great movie, if you've not seen it, with Johnny Depp, Rum Punch, based on the book by Hunter Thompson, one of, I think, the first books that Hunter Thompson wrote before Fear and Loathing and stuff. It's a fucking marvellous movie. It's an absolutely brilliant movie. It's got everybody in it, and I just love it. Anyway, ink.
Yes.
Ink and the smell of it, yeah. What he says is, I think, what do you smell? And the guy goes, no, I don't know. What should I smell? And the guy goes, I smell ink. Yeah. And then he goes, it's the smell of truth, So the Sunday Weekly is delivering weekly the truth.
The smell of truth.
The smell of truth on the island of Bali. And there's a few stories here. Of course, it's the usual kind of thing about Bali's annual rubbish flood continuing, because we do go through seasons, and we do get a lot of plastic washed up on the beach at certain times of the year. Again, it's the idea of it being a paradise. And there's the usual story about Nyepi, which I think we've spoken about, and a few people that didn't quite get the concept of Nyepi and went out during the day, and then got sort of beaten up by the Pachalang, the religious police. So there was that. But what got me? There's a couple of rough justice stories, man, in this this week's Channel Weekly. No, it's just it's not good. Let me see. It's on page something. We've got to flick through all the advertising first. It's so tragic.
Was this the Palestinian guy?
It's the Palestinian guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. Look, he's on page 24 of the Channel Weekly. Yeah, this week. It's a Palestinian man has finally, it says, been deported by the Indonesian immigration officials in Bali after being arrested for almost being detained for almost a year. The man was arrested in March 2023 after he was caught stealing food from a local supermarket. The subsequent investigation revealed that he had overstayed his visa by a whopping 8 months. So 8 months
at is it?
Well, it is quite a whopping. It's quite whopping. $1 million rupiah per day.
That's what they charge. Yeah.
So that's a shitload of money,
that's
which you obviously can't pay. But the point is, they catch you, and if they're very tight on immigration here, and then for immigrants like us, they catch them and they fine them a daily amount, and then they deport them back to their home country, which in this case, for this guy, is Palestine.
Palestine, yeah.
I mean, talking about
the fuck,
what the fuck? Talking about getting out of the hot water and climbing into a fucking boiling cauldron of oil. So they're sending back to Palestine.
Yeah.
How he's actually going to get into Palestine? Because it's
exactly. They'll
being
smuggle him in.
Shit by the Israelis at the moment. So have to smuggle him in or something. I mean, what? So he's been sent back to Palestine, and just like no wonder he overstayed his visa. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
The other story here in the Sun or Weekly, very tragic too, but so unlikely, and I wouldn't say rough justice, but just bizarrely tragic. There's an Australian woman and her partner killed in a landslide. So the bad weather we had last week, we had a couple of weeks ago, we had a lot of fucking rain,
serious rain,
biblical rain, you know. So these two, they checked into the 47-year-old Australian woman and her 50-year-old Dutch partner were killed when a landslide crushed their villa in Jatilui in Bali's Tabanan Regency, which is a very beautiful part of the island with lots of rice fields. Someone had built this gorgeous villa on the side of the cliff, and as they checked in, the day they checked in, there was this rain. Then the whole fucking mountain behind them slid down, and completely gave them the old Vesuvius effect and buried them alive, and they both died on their first night in paradise. I mean, it's fucking.
I know, so sad.
It's absolutely shocking, but they were found in a sleeping position because it was the middle of the night. You know.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind that you can go on holiday, all well and good, everything's fine and dandy,
that's it.
And the next fucking moment you are in a body bag, and sent back on the plane. And that's why we love fucking living our lives every day, man, because you never know when it's your last. You really don't know. So that was tragic. And the other one that got me this week in the Summer Weekly was about the we've got this Mount Agung, which is is it Mount Agung? Yeah. That everybody used to be able to climb. So it's quite a high mountain. I think it's about, I'm gonna say, 1,500 meters.
I don't know. I mean, it's basically what we're named after, under the volcano.
Yes, it's our volcano. Yeah. So have you climbed that mountain?
No, I haven't. It's on my list of things to do.
Do you like to climb mountains? Are you a mountain climber?
Yes.
Because we have heard your story also of carrying the fridge. Or whatever.
No, it wasn't a fridge. It was a Hoover.
Carrying a Hoover up the 5 peaks of England and all that. 3 peaks and all that. So I wonder. Cause I mean, I've been offered the chance to climb up mountains and volcanoes and stuff, but I've just honestly never seen the point. And,
no, it's what I want to do. I've got some friends who up in Ahmed who do it quite regularly, so I'm going to join them.
When I ask people why they do it, they just they come up with a variety of answers, but it all sort of boils down to because it's there. Yeah. So, and I'm like, well, that doesn't compel me to actually want to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and
I mean it's a fair old schlep. It's
a big schlep.
It's sort of 16, 18 hours up and down.
Yeah, and I've never done it. I've been here 30 years plus, and
well, it's high time you did. We'll do it together.
No, I'm not just really not interested at all in climbing any fucking mountains.
Well, I'll do it, and you can write about it.
My old biology teacher took me to the Peak District once. Yeah, it was a long story.
You said you weren't going to talk about him.
I wasn't going to talk about him. Yeah, I promised not to talk about my old closet gay biology teacher from Town Close House in Norwich. No, was he from Town Close House? No, he was from King Edward VII Grammar School in King's Lynn.
There you go.
I forget his name. He was a complete pedo, but he was one of those pedos who was so restrained he never actually did anything other than make sort of lewd suggestions, so he never actually fiddled with you, but he did sort of hang around a bit too long, like a bad smell, so. And when he got to the stage in the biology class when we were talking about ammonia, I do remember one lesson when he would he said, because it was a boys' school, and he would said, when you go to the toilet, boys, he said, what is it that you smell? And then there was total silence. There was total silence in the classroom because everyone knew he was a fucking bender. And there was total silence. And then he was like, he really enjoyed the moment. He was like, "Come on, lads, I know you've smelt it," like that, you know. And there was again silence. And come on, and he kept going. "I know you've smelt it, boys. Boys, you've smelt it, haven't you? In the toilets, you know." And he finally was like, no one put the hand up, of course, because it was just it was a bumming session in the back room. Although if he did, it was like, "Yes, please bum me in the arse. Please bum me in the arse, Mr. Biology teacher, you bender." So nobody mentioned anything, and then he eventually got down. It went on for like 20 minutes of these pregnant pauses while he, "Boys, come on, boys, I know you smelt it." And then he got down and said, "It's ammonia, boys, you must have smelt it." So, yeah, I'm not sure how I got onto that.
No, and we shouldn't actually be laughing about sexual abuse of anyone.
Well, it was...
let alone children.
You know, it was the 70s, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was part of
See that thing by, is it Larry and Paul? I love those guys, Larry and Paul.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, then check them out, because Larry and Paul, and they just did a brilliant skit about Arthur and Lee Anderson, and their wish
I haven't seen that one.
To return England to, you know, bring, what is it? We want our England back. We want our country back. And the idea is that they want the country back, but it's like that's a 1976 England they want back, which is just filled with
everything that involved.
Benders, you know, at school and getting beaten at school, and Saturday morning getting beaten by your father, and then Sunday morning getting beaten off by the bloody Catholic priest.
The fucking priest,
you know. So, and all of that entails, you know, so fried food and
which I think says more about Lee Anderson than.
No, when I would say Lee Anderson's a paedophile, he's not a paedophile.
No, he's not a paedophile.
That would be a defamatory thing to say.
It would be a dreadful thing to say.
But he does want to take us back to 1976 England.
Those good old days.
Cut that bit out, you know that, don't you? Anyway, so we're going to move on to the Bali's Mountain Gung, which we call a sort of Everest under our volcano. So they've banned, since COVID and the arrival of the Russians in Bali, of which there are many, who failed to understand even the slightest cultural nuance of living here. Sorry, you know, and break all the rules and do all the wrong things. So there's been a few people climbing that mountain and taking their clothes off and sort of having a wank, or just taking their clothes off, being arseholes, or showing their tits and taking an Instagram photo. So it got so out of hand that the authorities closed the mountain. So you can't climb up it. It's still banned. You cannot get up that mountain, even with a guide. It's closed for foreigners. If you're a local, you can go up a bit.
Yeah.
Still, some fucker, and I think he was a local. I'm desperately looking for the. Here we go. Story. Yeah. So it was a local guy. He was. It's a 2,800 meter volcano. You can climb up.
Wow. Okay.
So, anyway, the authorities in Bali have once again issued a stern warning not to climb Mount Agung, Bali's largest and most sacred mountain, alone, without the services of a registered guide. Okay, so you can still do that, and without registration. But the latest warning comes after a 60-year-old local tourist, originally from Yogyakarta, was found dead off the normal hiking track on an unmarked trail. It's reportedly the search team couldn't find him because he wasn't on the fucking trail. I don't know. 60. He got up there on his own. Didn't go with a guide, and he went missing. People called, and they finally found him after like 2 weeks.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, and tucked under a. I'm just making this bit up now. He was found.
You journalist, you.
He was found, and God bless him. That was the end. That was the end of his 60-year-old life. So,
if only they had St Bernard's in Bali, with a barrel of fucking whiskey around his neck.
St. Bernard's the dog. Yeah, I remember that. They have them in Switzerland, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a symbol, aren't they? The St. Bernard of Swiss. Well, they used to be the symbol.
Yeah, no, they were. And they always had a little barrel of.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So they were like, and this is interesting because they were like the symbol of Swiss efficiency and safety, and they used to rescue with those sniffer dogs or whatever, you know, in the avalanche, right? And they always used to have this barrel of something, but that that was co-opted, wasn't it, by an alcohol company? And I remember that dog, and the barrel was suddenly like, what was it, fucking, what do they drink in Switzerland?
I don't know. Milk.
No, alcohol. What alcohol do they drink in Switzerland? Anyway, it was sort of co-opted, wasn't it, for this advertising campaign? And it just started me thinking about how things are, how symbols or those kind of national symbols, if you like, are co-opted by other people for their own purposes. And it occurred to me that, because in Bali, of course, we have... it's a Hindu culture, so the swastika is a central and very holy symbol to the Hindu culture, of course, and it's on pretty much, you know, I don't know, 50% of the temples you see a swastika.
Sure.
And as a tourist, excuse me a minute, as a tourist, that can be slightly challenging to see a swastika, and you go, if you don't know anything, if you're a fucking idiot and you've just arrived, as we all were when we first arrived here, you see the swastika, and you go, what the hell, you know, because we associate that as Europeans with, of course, Hitler and Nazi Germany, right? Yeah. But then you look again and you notice that there's something not quite right about the swastika.
The other way around.
Or should we say something not quite right about the swastika that the Nazi Germans used?
Exactly.
Hitler inverted it, didn't he? Or turned it around or upside down or whatever. And then just gave it this awful... connotation, you know, which was basically the pure race and all that, and he co-opted that as the advertising company co-opted the St. Bernard sheepdog dog, you know.
Right.
And I just thought, how fucked is that, man? That people can take, you know, what was once a very holy symbol. I mean, as the St. Bernard was a classic symbol of safety and purity and a rescue and all that, and then was taken to suddenly promote alcohol. I thought, hey, right, is it? This whole cultural appropriation shit is just really not on. And then it sort of led me to think about other symbols or brands, if you like, that have been... and there's this whole thing in the UK at the moment, right, about the flag, the Nike flag on the back of the football shirts, right?
Everybody's foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, people are foaming at the mouth because the St. George's flag, which is usually on the back of the England shirt, has been sort of adapted by Nike. Of course, famously, they are very woke in their advertising and stuff. It's been adapted, if you like.
Child labour,
Well, you know, so it's been changed. There's purples and greens and whatever in it. It's not a rainbow, but it has been changed. And I just thought, well, that, you know, there's interesting things to think about here. Because number one is, there was always the rule, and this has changed as well in the last 10 years with the rise of populism and stuff. You don't fuck with the country's flag, right? That was always the rule. So if you fuck with the country's flag, like if you burn the American flag because you're in whatever, you know, place that is having whatever kind of issue with America, then you are clearly going to be a target for a fucking cruise missile, you know. So But now we also got so confused because the American flag has been co-opted, appropriated, if you like, by Donald Trump, let's say. So let's make America great again, right? So he's suddenly taken ownership of the American flag. And the same with the UK with the Union Jack.
Yeah,
so
it's
you see the Union Jack now. It used to be a symbol of sort of pride for everybody. Now it's a symbol of pride for only the sort of, you know, people on the right wing, if you like. So it's become like anti-immigrant. So it's been that symbol has become. The St. George's flag is now firmly a National Front flag, right? And even the Union Jack and Churchill and all that suddenly is like a I hate immigrants, and we want our England, we want our country back. We don't want any darkies. Overlooking the fact that for 150 fucking years, England, went around the world doing what the fuck they wanted in,
exactly,
in India,
exactly.
in Burma, in Asia, I mean, my God, we did it all, and and then we invited them, Jamaica, whatever. We invited them. We had to, Commonwealth and all that was a good thing. Invited back to the UK. Massive immigration, of course, from Pakistan, from India, places that we want sort of ruled. I mean, anyway, funny old game, isn't it? Politics and those symbols and stuff. So the Nike flag. I'm in two minds. I mean, I don't agree with St George's flag being co-opted by the National Front, and more on that in a bit, because I know you've got a story. But the fact that they sort of changed the flag on the kit, slightly is controversial. So where do you stand?
Yeah, but that's surely the point, and that it's controversial. It's raised Nike's status. Everybody's talking about Nike at the moment, so that's good for them.
Well, I wonder if it's just going to backfire, because there's now people banning, just not buying.
I don't know. I mean, you're probably talking to the wrong person, wrong people. Me and you, I don't think we'd ever bother to buy a fucking England shirt, because it's not on our radar. It's not what we want to do.
You say that, but there was a time during the Olympics, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When I was into swimming.
Right.
And I remember me and my brother watched the Olympic swimming, and we were so inspired by the English team who did very well. That we just really got into swimming. So we had to have those swim caps.
Yeah.
And we went to the local shop this is in Dereham.
Right, fucking hell, that's where I used to live. Go on.
It was in Dereham, then Swanton Morley. And we went to the local sort of sports shop, as it was then. And we asked the lady behind the counter if she had any there were Speedo swimming caps.
Right, yeah.
Sort of rubber ones. You'd wear them, they were like designed for speed, right? So when we asked her, do you have those? She said yes. But do you have any with the Union Jack on it? And she said, no, darling. She said, I think you need to be part of the team for that in the Olympics. And we were like, okay. But there was an opportunity, and Nike's clearly seen the opportunity amongst kind of kids and stuff. They identify with a flag or a symbol and whatever. So, but at that time, the Union Jack wasn't a symbol of nationalism necessarily.
No, it wasn't.
But we didn't have immigrants then. I mean, it was kind of pre-immigration. I mean, if you like.
No,
certainly in Dereham. Dereham. But the rest of my family lived in Birmingham, which of course was heavily immigrated, and so on the buses was all kind of mixed, bit this and that, which is all fine.
Of course it is.
And then, so that was just the symbolism, man.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I think this Nike thing is it amuses me. That's all it does. It amuses me. I really couldn't give a fuck about it. But I think it's funny that, again, going back to, Lee Anderson, he was on... He's been on several shows in the past sort of 24 hours in his England kit. I mean, fuck me, man. He's a grown man. What are you wearing a football shirt for? It's
just again this cultural appropriation, and it's
yeah,
one thing that I certainly wouldn't do in Bali, and I've been involved in many photo shoots where they've suggested going to a temple and shooting there, and I know it's off limits, man. I just no way that you can do it, and I just will not have it. So even the idiots, the Russians still fucking come. And then they go to the temple and they want to take a photo in a sacred place. And it's just appropriating it for selling fucking sunglasses. And that ain't on, man. That just isn't on,
No.
I always also wondered whether Big George, whether he identified with anything. Because, Fred Perry's another sign, another symbol. I love Fred Perry shirts. I've always loved them. But if I wear them out now, I'm conscious of the fact that people look at me as if it's some sort of symbol of my ideology, you know, because they were a skinhead kind of. They were adopted by the skinheads, like Levi's and you know,
Levi's, Stay Pressed, and all that sort of stuff.
All stuff was, you know, so
yeah.
I don't think, because I think Big George was a Scotsman, so I can't imagine that he would identify with Fred Perry. But
I'd love to know his surname. I wonder what clan he was from.
Yeah, well, I do know. I could tell you.
Yeah,
but I don't think we have time, mate.
Oh, for fuck's sake, we run out of time again. I was aware that it was getting fucking dark in here now.